Right, our number 4 upgrade. This is another factory option upgrade we chose. So obviously normally your van will either come with normal batteries. Oh, that was weird. The door's just opened on its own. Strange.
Still rough around the edges. I guess that some things never change.
Well, a very good afternoon everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's just me on my own today. Today we're going to go through our top 5 upgrades that we've had done to our van, either from the factory when we bought it, or the additional upgrades we've added after we've picked the van up. So the first one, which is it's kind of a big deal in A-Class, to be honest. All the rear windows in the A-Class are all double glazed, but the front is not, and it gets cold in the cab. But any of you who've got a A-Class, you'll probably know this, but they do get really cold in the cabs, and you have to have the heating on quite high. But the one we had the option to have a diesel heater fitted from factory. It's a Webasto unit. I think it's just about 2 kilowatts, which is more than adequate to heat the windscreen and keep the cab warm. So what we normally do if it's a cool day, because obviously we've had this van now since it was November, so we've had it over the colder months, and we've just put the Webasto on for maybe half an hour or so, and then we just drive with it on. Then it obviously just takes the diesel direct out of the diesel tank, and it doesn't seem to cost pennies to run, so it's a really good addition. I'll just take over and show you with the controls on it. It's a very simple system. So all it is really this. Look, so that's the actual control unit for it. Takes a few minutes to warm up. That's the temperature sensor there, and this is the outlet. So it's only got one outlet, but it does go across all the cab, and it keeps the cab really warm. So when we're driving along, like I say, it has got obviously digital air conditioning and stuff, but we do find that it has to be on full. Obviously we've had other motorhomes before that weren't A-classes, and the cabs are always warmer, and but this being such a lot of glass, and these are just normal, none of that's double glazed at all, so it's all just single glazed, so it does get really quite cool. So that's our number 1 on the list of the upgrades. Like I say, that is factory upgrade, so it's one of the optional extras you could have from factory. So second upgrade that we really like on the van, it's got to be our HY4 levelling system. We had it on our previous van, and obviously we had it taken off the previous van to be put back on to the Rapido. It was quite an expensive job to have done. I think it cost us around about £1,500 to have it taken off and refitted, but that's with all the labour and any extra bits and bobs that we needed, bracketry. That was all done by A&E Leisure in Northwich. Go and hit them up if you need anything doing to your motorhomes. They're a really good company. The boss there, he's a really nice chap. It's Roger, he's the owner of A&E Leisure. And then you've got Nathan, who deals with all the upgrades really, so all the hydraulics and air and things like that. So yeah, so the HY4 system, I think if you've seen some of the other vlogs, it's a really good system, not just for levelling you, also if you get a punch or anything like that, it's obviously you can lift the van up. It says in the manual don't do it, or not to do it without axle stands, but you can lift it up, put an axle stand under, drop it back down and change a tyre at the side of the road without actually having to jack it up, which is the big bonus on motoring. We've had one where we had a blowout on a motorhome, and it was not a very pleasant experience. So luckily we'd got a system on this van that time that was a EMP system. It was on our Bailey motorhome, and fortunately, because we broke down the side of the road with a blowout, we could jack the van up. We didn't have any axle stands, so just had to do it with what I'd got. Really, I was at the side of the motorway, and change the wheel at the side of the motorway and put another wheel on and wheel bolts. So, you know, for something like that, it's really handy. But obviously, it keeps the van level. Good for if you want to empty your grey waste. Good if you want to sleep at a different level. So you want to be tipped up this way, or you want tipped up this way. It's handy for that. And also the weighing function. The weighing function is a really good option. I think it's within 10%. So even if it's not right and you're there or thereabouts when you've done the weighing, at least you're going to know that, you know, you're legal to go somewhere, and it just saves going to the weigh bridge and being weighed, then have to come back home and then take something out and weighing it again. So yeah, that's just pretty handy feature. I believe from talking to some people that there is some systems coming out that are going to have the weighing function on as well, so it won't be just the Alco HY4 system. VB air suspension are looking at doing a levelling system, and that's going to have weighing functionality as well. And obviously that will work perfectly alongside the VB air suspension, so whether you've got semi-air or full air, it'll work alongside that system, so you know that'll be quite handy as well. Our number 3 upgrade to the van that we've had done was our air suspension. We had the semi-air suspension from VB put on the back of the motorhome, purely because when they come out of the factory they just got the little rubber bump stops. This van, I think the payload is about 500-600 kilos, so it's quite a big payload because it's been uprated anyway. But we were thinking of uprating it again to maybe 4,250 kilos. And obviously that is one of the requirements when you do upgrade the van. You will need air suspension. You may need different tyres and wheels, different strengths of wheels, different strengths of tyres. Maybe upgrade the brakes, maybe upgrade the front struts as well, just depending on what the axle weights you want them to be. So we find it really good, obviously, to keep the van from blowing when you're going past HGVs, other motorhomes, because obviously as you're coming past them you do get sucked into them, and it can be quite unnerving, especially for drivers who are a bit nervous. So I mean, if you're a driver who doesn't like that to be done, you know, when you're going past stuff, or even if you're going around roundabouts and you just feel unsteady, unstable, having that rear air makes a hell of a difference, because it just doesn't go anywhere. It's really, really solid. Sometimes I think the ride might be a bit more uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable. It's a bit harder. It's a bit firmer. But obviously, that's just getting used to having the airbags and used to how much air to put in them to make the ride quality as comfortable as you possibly can. I mean, I think it comes out set at 2 bar. You know, you would just monitor it and alter it to however you wanted it to be set. Obviously, if you've got no weight in it and it's just as a upgraded bump stop, I suppose you could have it 1 bar or 0.75 or half a bar. It's just, because that's just going to do just as well as the bump stop. But obviously, then you can, if you are putting weight in, you can just put a bit more air in and have a little bit of weight over the rear axle and not worry about it. Airbags and the composites seem a really good combination to have. So, you know, it's always worth talking to people, checking it out and just seeing what's right for you. I mean, we could have had the full air, but I think because we'd already got the HY4 system, we didn't really need to go that route. If we didn't have had the levelling to begin with, I might have gone for the VB full air, because obviously it's a slightly different system to what we got with the semi-air, because they replace lots and lots of different parts on it, front and back. But you know, do we need it? I don't think so. Number 4 upgrade for us. So this is another factory option upgrade, and it is the lithium batteries. We had lithium in our old van. I've still got a lithium battery that I don't know what I'm doing with yet. It's a Fogstar 280 ampere battery. But this, we've got 220 amperes of lithium in this from the factory. It was an upgrade, but we paid for it, but we didn't, because it was part of the package we had when we bought the van. It was one of the things that was part of the deal, I suppose. Would I have had it anyway? Yes, after having lithium in my previous 2 vans, because we had lithium in the Bailey, and we also had lithium in the Pilot. We like lithium because you can use pretty much all of it. You're not just using 50% of your battery's power. And obviously the weight of them. The weight is really light, and you know, if I hadn't had the lithium as an option in this van anyway, I would have just put the lithium in that I've already got, that's just sitting in my lockup at the minute, which I'm still deciding what to do with it. It is one of the options I'll be looking at in the future, extra solar. With living full time, it's always good, especially in the summer, to have that capacity to just charge your batteries and not even have to worry about using electric. And like I say, you can use a lot more capacity, and they charge really fast as well. You know, you'll take quite a bit out of them over a few days, but then, I don't know if it's because of the smart alternator on the van or what it is, but they charge up back to 100% really, really quickly. And obviously you can run them all the way down to next to nothing. You can get the full voltage all the way down to when they go flat. So it is a massive bonus, and obviously now they're a lot cheaper than they used to be. I mean, lithium used to be hellish expensive, but now they come down to the price point where if you're in the market to change your batteries, you'd be daft not to put lithium in there, because you're at that price point where, especially if you've got a newer van and all the other components are lithium ready, which I presume over the last few years a lot of the components would have already been made lithium ready from the factory. You'd be daft not to go and have lithium upgraded from AGM or lead acid, because obviously they just last a lot longer. The cycles, you've got hundreds and hundreds of cycles on them, and then you've got the weight. There's all these considerations obviously when you've got a van. Try and keep the weight down as much as possible. Yeah, so I'll just show you where ours are. Ours, let's say, factory fit. So these are ours down here. So we've got 210 amp hour batteries here, and there's the charger for them. So these are TBB power M20, M12, 100, I don't know, lithium batteries. Can't really see much on them. It's got all the gubbins in there. It's got like a lead that clicks in, like a Wi-Fi lead. You can see the charge rate on them here. I'm doing this off spec really, because I've not really looked at them before, only quickly when we first had the van. What I normally look at is this panel here. So with the lithium, you've got this separate panel here, and that will tell you what the voltage is. So 13.8, drawing nothing, and they're 100%. I don't know what that one does. There you go, so it's drawing 0.1 of an amp, 13.8 volts. So that's our battery meter in the van. So that's all we need to look to see what these are doing. Right, number 5 in our upgrade list has got to be the gas flow system. We had the gas flow on the previous 2 vans. I am a gas engineer by trade, so you know I can fit it so it's at no cost to me when I have it fitted anyway. This was fitted by Brownhills anyway. It was part of the package deal, so it saved me fitting it. Saved me a job, yeah. But yeah, we think it's really good, to be honest. There is less and less filling stations around, but I think because we live in a rural place and LPG is used a lot, we can get it quite easily where we live anyway. But the bonus is when you go to the continent. When you go to the continent, the filling stations are everywhere. Just make sure you get all the different adapters for the countries you're going to be going to. But ours cost, I don't know what the install cost was. I think it was somewhere around about £800, £1,000, say, I don't know. Some ballpark figure maybe. I think when I did my last one, the Bailey, it was probably about £600 or £800, so I presume it will have gone up a bit since then. But you got no messing with the bottles and stuff, and you can carry a colour bottle with you because you can get a conversion hose that will plug straight into the van, straight into a colour bottle. So if you do struggle getting gas, at least you can use a colour as a backup if you haven't been able to fill yours up. But price points on the gas, I think the last time we filled up was about £1.09 a litre. So it cost us, I don't know, it was about 20 quid to fill both bottles from empty, there or thereabouts. It wasn't very much. We got the bigger bottles. I think we got the 11 kilo bottles. So yeah, it was a lot cheaper than buying the colour bottles. I don't know how much they are now. They're probably 30-40 quid. I'm not sure. I know the big 47 kilos are nearly 90 quid. So I presume the half of that maybe. So maybe 40 quid. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. I'm not up to date with on colour gas bottles, unfortunately. I have got one. I've got it in the lockup. That's from another van, and like I say, that is used just to take as a spare with a spare hose, just in case there's a time when you can't find any gas. At least you've got a spare bottle that'll just get you by to either run your heating, run the hob, just so you can have a brew. You know, that's all it's about. It's just so you can have a brew, really. As long as you can have a brew, who cares? And yeah, we just find it's just cheap. And like I say, I suppose the initial cost, if you're going to keep the van for a long time, I don't know. Or if you're using it a lot, like I say, our running cost for gas is probably £20 a month. And which it'd be on colour, I don't know, probably double or triple that, I would think, quite easily. So over a year, 18 months, once you pay for the system, if you've had to pay for it, it will start paying itself back, and you just got a bit of patience. But it'll pay in dividends when you go abroad, because as long as you've got the adapters, you're not going to have to buy other bottles when you're abroad and think, oh, what am I going to do now? Are we going to change this? We're going to change your regulators and everything else. You just put the gas in at the filling station, tixty boo, and that's it. So that is our 5th upgrade on the van. And because you probably watched this far and thought, wow, we really want to know more, we've put a bonus upgrade on, which is another factory upgrade, and this is for when you're on 240. And this, I don't know other van manufacturers this, but with this Rapido, we've got this underfloor heating here. So we turn that on when we're on 240, and that's it. It just heats the floor up. It's got underfloor heating. So under the actual floor, under the carpets, and then under this, there's obviously a blanket of underfloor mesh, I presume, like you would have in a house for electric underfloor heating. So that is another bonus that we really happy about. Obviously it was part of the deal on the van, and we have noticed when we are on a hookup or shore power, whatever you want to call it, it makes a massive difference. You don't need the heating on. If you got that on, it's just toasty. The only problem there is Max can't lie on the floor. He'll go and lie in the cab because there's none in the cab. He'll go and lie there because it's too hot. So what can I say? Can't have everything, can you? Well, that's the end of this vlog. If you've got any comments, stick them down in the comment section and we'll try to answer anything we can. Love to have all your comments, and would like to say thank you for all our old subscribers. Like to say thank you for all the new subscribers. We are getting quite a few new subscribers, and yeah, we'd love to have you along and carry on watching and enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Still rough around the edges. I guess that some things never change.